What's up? How's it going? I hope let me undo my belt because I'm fat, and I probably should have done that before I started the video. But hey, you know what? Extra behind the scenes footage here. This is the unedited version. Um, so I'm sitting at home. Um, this isn't really what I wanted to talk about, but let me give you some backstory here because I'm trying to remember what was the last video I uploaded. Um, I'll try to give you the short version of where I'm at. I made my delivery in Dallas. After I made the Dallas delivery, I decided to deadhead home because I didn't have a load for Dallas for Monday. I couldn't find one, and I was most likely going to have to sit and wait for a load. And I decided to sit at my house instead of in Dallas. I was only like 3 hours away from my house, and I had plenty of time on my clock to make it home without having to take a 10. I had like 4 hours left on my clock, so I could just drive my house, take a 10, and look for a load from my house. And if I had to drive back down to Dallas to pick up a load, no big deal. Um, but I ended up getting home, and when I got home, um, after I dropped the trailer, I had issues with the truck. So I was like, crap, I'm going to have to put my truck in the shop. Um, and then an ice storm started that same day. So like there was this comedy of like errors. Like there's just a ridiculous amount of things that happened. I have issues with the trailer. I think I'm gonna have to put the trailer in the shop. I haven't been able to track down the problem, but I think there's something wrong in the air system on the trailer. But I'm probably going to end up. I need to go down and troubleshoot the trailer. I'll do that whenever I put my truck in the shop. But I'm going to put my truck in the shop for some repairs, and I'm probably going to put the trailer in the shop for some repairs. And as you can see in my cameras, I have a lot of limbs down on my property. So I got here early Monday morning, and the ice storm started Monday. And the ice storm just ended last night. And it's finally above freezing temperatures. The ice has melted, and it's time to clean this shit up. So I'm making a decision right now. I haven't firmly made the decision yet, but I have a lawn guy that takes care of mowing my lawn, and I paid him to do, some, tree cleanup and stuff like that before. And I messaged him to find out how much he would charge me to clean up the limbs on the property. Now, here's my logic on this, and what I'm thinking of is some of the limbs on my property are big. They're going to probably require a chainsaw. And I'm just thinking about an injury, a possible injury, in cleaning up all of this shit. Like, I got up this morning and I got dressed and I started to go out and start cleaning this shit up. And then I stopped and started thinking about it. If something happens where I injure myself out here, not only are you talking about possible medical bills, but if it's only going to cost me like $200 or $300 for my lawn guy to come out here and clean this shit up, I think that's worth it. I make $200 or $300 in like so little time. $200 or $300 in the grand scheme of things isn't very much money. But if something happened to me where I got injured, it would cost me a lot more than $200 or $300. So I'm waiting to hear back from him on how much he wants to clean this up. And if it's reasonable, then I'll pay him. If it's a lot of money, then I'll probably end up just going out there and doing it myself. I think it'll only take an hour, maybe 2 hours. Most of it's just dragging limbs. There is one big limb down in the backyard that's probably going to require a chainsaw. I have a chainsaw, um, so it's not that big of a deal. But like if I got out there and busted my ass, I'm pretty sure I could have all this cleaned up in an hour. If I just, took my sweet ass time, 2 maybe 3 hours, which is generally what I do. I'll go out there and just take my sweet ass time, take a break here and there, catch my breath, that kind of stuff, because I'm fat. I get out of breath pretty easy. That black dot right there, there's something like it was like this as soon as I bought this camera. There's like something stuck on the back side of the little piece of plastic or whatever that's covering the camera. And I tried tapping the camera to get it to fall off there, and I can't get it. I would probably have to take the camera apart to remove that. I just haven't gotten around to it, and I don't even know if it's worth it. These cameras are like $50. I'd probably just buy another camera. But it hasn't been enough of a nuisance yet to get me to deal with this little thing that's on the back of the lens. But right now I'm waiting for two callbacks. I'm waiting for my lawn guy to tell me how much he's going to charge me for this. I sent him a message and I said, "Hey, would you clean up the limbs on my property for $140?" And he said that he'd have to see how many limbs are down to tell me how much it would cost. And I sent him a bunch of pictures. I don't know if he's going to drive over here and look or what the deal is. But I was thinking $140 is more than reasonable for this crap up here in the front lawn, because that's just like probably 30 minutes of dragging shit over to one side of the lawn. But after I saw the big limb in the back, now I'm thinking $140 isn't really enough. Because most of this is just really easy, just dragging some limbs over to the corner of the property. You know what? Like, I'm thinking about going out there and just dragging some limbs right now. I'm tempted. Because I'm in the mood to go actually just clean up some of the limbs. I don't know. We'll see. We'll give it a minute here. The other callback that I'm waiting on is Big Rig Product. Apparently their power is out. I called, and I think Sarah is the I don't know what her title is. She's the one that does all the scheduling and everything. Big Rig Product, Glenn, the guy that owns Big Rig Product, owns, like, him and his father are business partners, and the two of them own like at least 5 or 6 businesses at that location. And Sarah, or whatever her name is, I can't remember for sure if it's Sarah, she is like the person that handles all of the scheduling and everything for all of those companies. So I called her to schedule an appointment to get the truck worked on, and she said that she would have to go talk with Trey and I told him I wanted to come in first thing Monday morning, and she said their power was out there. Well, she didn't say their power was out. She said all their computers and everything was down. The only thing that she had to work off of was her phone. So I assume that their power is out, since none of her computers or internet or anything are working. So I'm waiting on contacts back from those two, my lawn guy and Big Rig Product. I had some drama with my driver manager again, and I am so fed up with my driver manager. I've only got like 3 months left with USA Truck, and I'm just trying to gut it out without having to request another driver manager, because I've gone through that before. When I was a company driver, I had to switch driver managers. and it was a lot of drama to switch driver managers. Um, I don't want to deal with that drama. I don't want to have to talk with the operations manager and explain to them everything that I dislike about my driver manager. I don't want to go through all that crap. So, and unless it gets just to the point where I can't tolerate it anymore, I'm gonna stick it out with LaDonna. But the drama that happened recently was she messaged me Monday morning, like first thing Monday morning. Within like, so I got to my house at like 5 or 6 a.m. Monday morning. When she got on duty, when she started her day at like 7:30 a.m., like an hour and a half after I got home, she messaged me and was like, "Are you going to stay at your house or are you going to get a load?" I cannot fucking stand them trying to micromanage me like that. I'm an owner operator. I pick my own damn loads off the load board. That's none of your damn business. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't want to report to them and tell them, you know, my schedule and what I'm going to do and all that crap. It's like, it pisses me off when they try to micromanage me like that. But that's not like the thing that I want to switch driver managers over. That's just an irritant. And I think she said that Marcia, her operations manager, her manager, was wanting to know. But anyway, like it's really frustrating that, you know, they try to micromanage me on my loads. So I sent her an email Monday, because I went to bed as soon as I got home. So whenever she sent that message at like 7:30 a.m., I was asleep. So whenever I woke up around noon, I saw the message. And by then, the ice storm was already in full effect, and I had limbs down on my property. So I took a screenshot of, you know, my camera is right here with limbs down and stuff, and I sent her an email and I said, I'm going to be at home for at least the rest of this week. An ice storm just started today, and it's not supposed to end until Wednesday or Thursday, and I'm going to have to clean up limbs on the property once it ends. And she said, "All right, thanks." Well, a couple of days later, I think it was Tuesday afternoon, I found a load on the load board that I wanted, and I requested that load, and it was like 5:30 in the afternoon. So at the end of the shift for the normal driver managers, LaDonna had gone home for the day. So I got the after hours and weekends. I got Brent. Well, Brent told me that he couldn't assign me the load because I was out of service. He told me that I had to get with LaDonna. There was nothing he could do. I was furious. So I sent an email to LaDonna, and I was like, "Why did you put me out of service? I let you know out of courtesy that I wouldn't be leaving the house until at least the end of the week. That doesn't mean that I won't be looking for loads or anything. Whenever you put me out of service like this and I can't get loads, it affects the amount of money I can make. I lose money when I can't get loads. I don't just schedule loads same day. Like, I often book loads several days in advance. And whenever you take away my access to the load board like this, I can't get loads." I just went off on her in the email. And so she replied back the next day, and she said that I wasn't out of service. She has no idea why Brent couldn't assign that load to me. And she went ahead and assigned the load to me, and then she was a drama queen about the load. She was like, "Are you sure you want this load? It doesn't pick up until the 17th of November. It doesn't pick up for like 3 fucking weeks. But it's a really good paying load that's right here next to my house." It's a load going from Amarillo to Dallas that pays $4,000. It's a 300-mile load that pays $4,000. But it doesn't pick up till the 17th. I don't care. I'll haul that load on the 17th. So I just replied to her, and I said, she asked me, do I want this load? It doesn't pick up for like 3 weeks. Like, basically messaging me is like, "Are you sure? Do you really know what you're doing?" This thing doesn't pick up for 3 weeks. Why in the hell are you requesting it? Talking to me like I'm stupid. And I just replied with, yes, I want the load. And then she sent me 2 more messages. And she's like, are you sure you want this load? You might have to go pick this up today. I didn't even bother replying to her. Like, she was just being a drama queen, trying to justify putting me out of service. She was claiming that she didn't put me out of service. And then she was trying to justify putting me out of service, telling me that if I requested a load today, regardless of whatever the pickup date was, I might have to pick it up today. Like, that's not the way shit works. I don't know. It's just, the thing is, LaDonna gets defensive, and it pisses me off. She does really stupid shit, and then when I get mad at her and try to get her to correct the stupid shit that she does and ask her to please stop doing stupid shit, she gets defensive with me, and it just irritates the hell. It's so fucking annoying. Sorry for all the language. I'm just really ticked off. So anyway, I got the load. I'm supposedly not out of service or anything. And I've been looking at loads on the load board. As of right now, I'm looking at like I might be home for 2 weeks. Because I need to get this shit dealt with, and then I need to put my truck in the shop on Monday. And then after I put my truck in the shop Monday, once my truck is repaired, I might be taking the trailer over to the TA to get the trailer worked on. And then I might be leaving the house, I would say, like, if there was an absolutely amazing load, like a $4,000+ load, a unicorn load, then I could see myself leaving as early as Tuesday. But aside from a unicorn load, which let's check real quick and see if there's a load board. There we go. You know what? Let me pause this for just a second, just in case it pops up with some personal information when I'm trying to log in. Be right back. All right, and we're recording again. So this is the $4,000 load that's going from Amarillo to Dallas. So let's check Oklahoma City, 250 miles, $2,000 minimum. And wait for it to load. Yeah, it's a bunch of shit loads. This one, I've never seen a load out of Hazlet, Texas. And why in the hell do they not have any fuel surcharge? These might be a dedicated thing that were put on here by accident. Alliance BNSF Marshall's Distribution Center. Because I've never seen loads out of this location, and because it doesn't have any listed fuel surcharge, I think that these may have possibly been listed in error. This has happened once before that I've seen, where they had they listed a load on here and I requested it, and it was when I asked for something. I asked for clarification on something like the delivery time or something like that, and the driver manager reached out to the account manager on the load, and the account manager told the driver manager that those were dedicated accounts and it shouldn't have been listed on the load board, and they pulled the load off of me. I've never seen a Marshall's load. So Marshall's, it's going to a distribution center. Usually dedicated accounts are accounts that go directly to stores. we hardly ever do any direct deliveries on normal, like, general freight loads. There are a ton of these Hazlitt to Decatur, Georgia loads. I've never seen these things before, and now all of a sudden the load board is littered with them. I've never seen a Marshall's load. It might be a new account, new business that we're trying to get, but it's listed as general freight. Please notify intermodal in advance to ensure driver is not delayed. What in the shit does that even mean? So this is going to Home Good, care of Conlin. So not all these loads are going to Marshalls. Alliance BNSF. Alliance BNSF. It's a railway intermodal company. I have never seen containers at USA Truck, but it doesn't have to be a container to be intermodal. Our trailers, most of them do not have air suspension, and the reason that almost all of our trailers have leaf spring suspension instead of air suspension is so that they can be put on trains for intermodal. So this, I am willing to bet, because of the number of loads on here, and I have never seen these loads before, I'm willing to bet that this is some kind of dedicated account, and these are listed on here in error, or they've decided to stop having it as a dedicated account and just have normal drivers haul it. I don't know what the deal is, but like, look at all these loads coming out of there. And this is like the first time I've ever seen these loads listed. There's no way that this is the first time we've ever used this place. So this is most likely some kind of dedicated account. But anyway, all these loads are pretty garbage, except these rail loads. Decatur, Georgia. I don't know where Decatur is, but everywhere in Georgia is going to be near the Atlanta market. So Decatur, Georgia looks like a pretty good destination because the Atlanta market is a solid market. So basically $3 a mile. So what I would make on this load, I would have to figure out what the hell the deal is with the fuel surcharge. Because whoever listed all these loads did not put in fuel surcharge. They need to correct that. My lawn guy has not replied to me, and Big Rig Product has not replied to me. I'm starting to get a little irritated. You know what? I think I might put on a show for you. I might leave this recording, and I'll go out and start cleaning up some limbs. The thing is, I don't want to go out there and start cleaning up limbs. I'm waiting on calls back. I was waiting to hear, calls back before I, do anything. But, You can barely see my truck over here in this camera. That's the edge of my truck right there. There's another camera that I've already got the wiring done. I've got the hard part done. I ran network cable for all these. These are I just blanked out on the term. Power over Ethernet, PoE. So all these cameras are just connected with a network line. Now that network line provides both power and data. And then I have a server that has camera management software installed that manages and records all the cameras and everything. Now the cable, on network cable, there's cheap network cable and there's good network cable. And this is really good, expensive network cable. If you buy cheap network cable, then you can't get full network speeds. Like one of the most common network cables that you're going to see at Walmart and everywhere else is it's going to have a symbol on it for like CCA or something like that. It'll have that hidden somewhere on the cable. They don't advertise it in big bold out in front, typically. But CCA stands for copper clad aluminum. It's not as conductive as full copper lines. It has more resistance on the line. It has more noise on the line, and you cannot get your full speeds. Like if you have a network card that's capable of gigabit internet, and you use copper clad aluminum, you're not going to get gigabit. You'll be lucky to get half of gigabit. Now, what I have is full copper lines, and it's a lot more expensive than the copper-clad aluminum. To give you an idea of price difference, it's at least double, maybe triple the price for the really good full copper lines versus the copper-clad aluminum lines. It's a lot more expensive, and I have I cut my own lines. I bought a huge roll of like, I don't know, I think it was like 500 feet of network line, and I cut my own lines. I put on my own connectors on the end and stuff like that, and I had to run my own lines from one. My house is approximately 70 feet from one end to the other, so to run the line up and then out and then around and then down the side of the house, one of these lines is somewhere in the area of 100 to 120 feet. That's the longest line that I have. So, like, I have a ton of really long network lines run for all of this. But the camera over here, I've already got the network line run for it and everything. It's just that the place that I want to install it is like 30 feet up, and I don't have a ladder high enough to get to that. So it's been on my to-do list to hire somebody to mount the camera for me and to plug it in. But it's one of those things where I kind of like need to be there to work with them on it in case I need them to adjust the camera while they're there. So yeah, I just haven't gotten around to it. These cameras are fairly cheap. What is expensive is running the network lines, and that's about it. The cameras are like $50 a piece, and I can just throw cameras up anywhere that I have a network line. But running the network lines is both expensive and a pain in the ass. But I've run all the lines myself. Why the hell is nobody contacting me? I think Miguel might be driving over here, because I sent him pictures, but he might actually be driving over here. I don't know how high up I would be willing to go in price to have him do this. Is there a way that I can full screen the cameras here? I mean, I know how to full screen a single camera, but I kind of want these two cameras. I mean, that's bigger, but what is this? Actions. No actions. No. Okay. Just a second. Let me blow my nose. All right, we're back. I feel like going out and cleaning up the limbs myself is what I'm feeling like right now. I'm going to leave this running. Now it's going to take me a minute to get out to the limbs because I'm going to go over to my truck and grab a pair of gloves, and then I'll go over to the limbs. Let me see what the temperature is real quick. Weather.com. It's 47 degrees right now. I better wear a jacket. Better wear a jacket. But all I need to really do is pile the limbs up, and the city will come by and pick them up. So, all right, I'm gonna leave the camera running. I'll be back in a few minutes. I'll go ahead and turn this camera off. And I'll be back in a minute. Well, I'm not going to be back in a minute. You're going to see me on the cameras out there cleaning up the limbs. You put my belt back on. Alright, I'm back. So, as you can see, in just a few minutes, I got almost all of it cleaned up. That was like about 15-20 minutes. So not long at all. And I got the majority of it cleaned up. So we'll see if Miguel is driving over. I did have a missed call while I was out there. Turn the camera back on. I'm sweating. What is that? I rubbed a tree branch across my shirt. Big Rig Product called me and left a message and said that Monday morning is okay. Let me just call him back and confirm. Hey Sarah, this is Daniel. Just calling you back, let you know that I heard your message confirming the Monday appointment. Sorry, I was out cleaning up limbs. All right, thank you much. Bye. All right, so now I'm just waiting on I think it's Guillermo. Yeah, it's Guillermo. Are you going to come by and look at it? Question mark. I just cleaned up a bunch of it. Period. At this point, I'm thinking, why not just go ahead and finish the damn thing myself? There's some stuff in the backyard. But yeah, initially I was thinking $140, and then I was thinking, we'll bump it up to $200, and now I'm thinking $100, because like I just cleaned up 3/4 of it in 15 minutes. And I'm not sure if he has a bunch of business going right now on this cleanup, like if he's busy doing a bunch of stuff. But if he were to come over here and start cleaning up my property, he might have a bunch of people come over and ask him to clean up theirs. Come on, Guillermo, why in the hell are you taking so long to reply? It's 72 degrees in here. I turned my heater down. About to turn my damn air conditioner on. Actually, I am going to turn my damn air conditioner on. I have window units in some of my bedrooms. That way I don't have to because I like it really cold because I'm fat. And it's just not efficient to keep the whole house really cold. So the main unit in the summer, I'll set it to like 76 degrees, but I'll have the window unit set at like 68 degrees, and I'll keep the bedrooms really cold. Nothing amazing on the load board. Let's look at Joplin, Missouri. Now, I've never hauled anything good out of Joplin. The only reason I'm picking Joplin is because Joplin, a 250-mile radius around Joplin, should include Spring Hill, Kansas City, Seymour, Bell, Missouri, all the good places, Springfield, Missouri. So there's Spring Hill, there's Seymour. This is a decent load, but it's too big of a deadhead. It's not like the further I have to travel for a load, the better the load has to be. If this load were within 100 miles of me, maybe even 150 miles of me, then this would be an awesome load. But Spring Hill, Kansas is 250 miles away from me, somewhere in that area. Maybe 300 miles. Oklahoma. 326 miles. Spring Hill, Kansas is southwest Kansas City. There's a Procter and Gamble distribution center. I think it's called A&M Products. Yeah, A&M Products. It's Procter and Gamble. It's 45,000 pounds going to a target. And one of the really bad things about Procter and Gamble loads is that they are almost all max weight loads. Guillermo, damn you. But this is my home time right now. I'm not gonna bother troubleshooting the the tractor issues at my house because I need to get the damn thing up to temperature to locate the coolant issue. And it's I would have to run it for a couple of hours. I would probably have to idle it for a couple hours and then get out there and hold down the throttle. It'll only go up to 1,000 RPM. I don't know of any way to get it to go higher than 1,000 RPM. Now, if I could just press on the throttle and get it up to like 1,800 RPMs, it would heat up rather quickly. But it has some kind of over RPM protection, and it will not let you go over 1,000 RPMs when the truck is not like moving. Whenever you're just setting parked and you're pressing on the throttle, so it's very difficult to get the engine hot. So what I'm going to do is it'll get warmed up when I'm driving it over to Big Rig Product, and I'll just keep it running while I'm there and keep it up to temperature as much as possible. And I'll basically try to find the leak when I get to Big Rig Product that morning. Go back to Oklahoma City. Let me pause this for a minute while I look at my email and stuff. All right, I had it paused for quite a while. I forgot what I was saying, but I think I'm going to wrap this up. Let me refresh the load board. And my squirrel's back. I'm a little bummed out that nothing that looks really great. There's my squirrel. It's bothering me a little bit that I've only seen one squirrel in the last week. There's usually like at least 3 of them that run around in my backyard. So unfortunately, I think a couple of them might have gotten killed. And I forgot to order apples. I did a Walmart delivery, and I was going to order a bag of red apples, and I forgot to put out some apples for them. So I don't know. I'm a really really big fan of. I like animals, and I'm like fascinated with raccoons, possums, and squirrels. I would love to have a pet raccoon or a pet possum or a pet squirrel. So anyway, I think that's about it for this video. I'm a little bummed out that Guillermo is not messaging me back. I don't know if he might be in the middle of cleaning up a yard right now. He might be cleaning up a property. He might, be doing a bunch of work. So we'll see. I think I'm about done for the day on cleanup. If he comes back and tells me that he doesn't have time to do it, or his price is too high, or whatever, then I think I'll clean up the rest of it tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to mess with anything else the rest of the day. And really, in all honesty, it's almost all cleaned up. There's a few more limbs over here to pick up in my front lawn. And then in the back lawn, there's a decent amount of limbs in the back lawn. You can't see it on the back camera because it's over in the other corner of the yard. But there is a fairly sizable limb that's probably going to require a chainsaw. And that right there is the only reason that I'm willing to pay him to clean up the rest of it, is because he's going to have to bust out the chainsaw and probably chop up that limb to be able to move it out. But his price shouldn't be too ridiculous, since he's not having to haul this shit off. I mean, really, it should take him less than an hour. And I think $140 is more than reasonable for what's left to do. But we'll see what price, he wants to negotiate on this. But really, I mean, I don't really want to pay him more than $140 for less than an hour of work, in all honesty. Like, I cleaned up almost all of it in 15 minutes. So, yeah. He has about 15 minutes to clean up all the. It would take about 15 minutes to clean up the remainder of the limbs, and then about 15 to 20 minutes to clean up that one big limb. That one big limb alone will take 15 to 20 minutes. So there's less than an hour of work remaining out there. But we'll see. We'll see what we come to. I think I'm going to wrap this video up. I hope you're having a great week, and I hope this damn winter weather gets back up north where it belongs. We don't need any more of this crap. So, anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye.